Welcome back to Straight Facts by Dinar Investor.
Question for you. You're not giving us any detail on the demonstrations. You're not giving us any information at all. Why not? Everybody else is giving us tons of information about the demonstrations. Everybody else was telling us and suggesting to us that Mahdi would be removed and that the government would be dismantled and removed. Why aren't you giving us any of these details? That is a great question. Thank you for asking that. Here's why. From the beginning, guys, I have told you that the demonstrations would have no bearing on this investment. Okay? If anything, the demonstrations have confirmed and proven everything that I've been telling you since the end of August. Other than that, the demonstrations have had no bearing. Remember, the CBI and the GOI are completely autonomous. So whatever happens with the GOI has nothing to do with the CBI. The CBI controls the money. This GOI controls the government, and they work with the people. Okay? As of right now, the only thing that the CBI is seeking from the government is stability before they will agree to change the rate. Okay? They want the GOI to have a formed, completed government. That's an important layer of stability before they're going to change the rate. That's what the CBI is seeking from the GOI, is just stability, and they need to finish the formation of the government. Okay? And they also need to have an approved 2020 budget, because that's where post-rate change monies will come from for reconstruction, Article 140, and the HCL. Okay? And regarding the demonstrations, as you see, the government itself couldn't hardly offer the citizens anything at all. They offered them a little money. They've offered them some low-cost living, but that comes down to reconstruction money that's going to have to be allocated within the 2020 budget. And then they've offered them some jobs. Other than that, guys, the demonstrations, those are just, and so that's also sparked a lot of news on reforms. These are just watered down reforms that have nothing to do with the rate change. Okay, the major economic reforms that we're seeking will happen after the rate change. You know, that government program that they keep telling you about, and every time it comes out in articles, I try to bring it to your attention. That's it, the government program. Those are the major economic reforms that we're looking for. Right now, the current reforms they mention are just the mild reforms that I keep telling you, some low-cost housing, some money being given back to the people, and some jobs, that kind of thing. Just very mild, watered-down reforms. That's the most that the government could offer to the citizens until the rate changes. Remember, at the end of August, I strongly told you that they were boxed in a corner and their hands were tied. You're seeing it right here. There's nothing they can do for the people. So that's why I'm not here to waste your time, guys. There is no reason to keep talking about these demonstrations. They have nothing to do with the rate change. It's only for if you want to know what's going on in the news-wise, by all means, check it out, look at it. Other than that, if your focus is on your investment, the Iraqi dinar rate change, it's not worth your time to follow the demonstrations, because there's nothing related to the demonstrations that benefits you. Okay, there's nothing there. The only thing that the demonstrations news has confirmed is everything I've said since the end of August, telling you that Iraq has proven to you through this that their hands are tied. There's very little they can do until that rate changes. So other than that, that's why I'm not going to put an emphasis on unimportant news that wastes your time. You guys have a great day.
Finance discusses with the World Bank granting salaries to the unemployed in 5 governorates, posted by Walter, October 9, 2019 date. The 14th of October 2019, 14:16, 108 times read. The Ministry of Finance in Iraq, on Wednesday, it is discussing an agreement with the World Bank to grant certain salaries to the unemployed in 5 Iraqi provinces. The Minister Fawad Hussain discussed with representatives of the World Bank, the Minister of Labour and representatives of the International Organization for Migration a grant agreement for a certain period during which the unemployed are trained in order to qualify them and put them in the labour market. the ministry said in a statement received. She added that this agreement will include the provinces of Anbar, Babylon, Diyala, Kirkuk and parts of Baghdad as a first stage, noting that this agreement is part of a large project between the Ministry of Labour and the World Bank to support the segments who need to work immediately to improve their living and social reality. For his part, the Deputy Prime Minister stressed the need to achieve the maximum benefit from these projects in order to support small families, especially in the liberated areas after the return of displaced people, and find jobs for the youth segment, stressing the importance of achieving these projects away from political debates and suspicions of corruption. For his part, the World Bank expressed its full readiness to support the package of decisions issued by the Council of Ministers and the House of Representatives on the opening of jobs and support for employment programs and granting small loans and other projects. In the same context, the Minister of Labour and Social Affairs said that the ministry has entered into discussions and understandings with the United Nations and the World Bank for the implementation of short and medium-term projects to support small families and young people and attract their energies through granting soft loans, which will reflect positively on the living and social reality of citizens. That is over. The Kurdistan government expresses its support for Abdul Mahdi in addressing the problems posted by Walter. October 9, 2019 release date. The 16th of October 2019, 16:32. Baghdad, Euphrates News, the Council of Ministers of the Kurdistan region, on Wednesday, its regular session chaired by Masra Barzani in the presence of his deputy Quabad Talabani. According to the statement of the Kurdistan government, which received Euphrates News a copy, it was at the meeting highlighted the latest developments on the Iraqi and Syrian arenas, and in this regard the Prime Minister said, "While we stand by the legal and just demands of protesters who are demonstrating peaceful and civilian, we express our support for the Iraqi Prime Minister Adil Abdul Mahdi in addressing all the problems." The statement added that during the meeting was addressed to the important visit of the External Minister Sergei Lavrov to the Kurdistan region, accompanied by a senior delegation of diplomats and investors Russians, and eyes of the situation in Syria. Barzani noted that the escalation of the situation in the north, east of Syria has negative consequences do not stop at the borders of Syria, but will pay. Thousands of people have been displaced, while many still lost Kurdistan region. He also urged to address the crisis through peaceful means and dialogue, and said, the resort to unilateral military measures not in the interest of the citizens of the region. This is the Minister of the Interior in the government of the province Rebah Ahmed. A detailed report about the preparations for precautionary in anticipation of any possible exodus of Syrians who they resort to the Kurdistan region. The Council of Ministers called on the international community and the United Nations to assume their responsibilities and to provide assistance in the event of asylum another wave of Syrians to the Kurdistan region. At the end of the meeting, the Council of Ministers discussed the advance by the Minister of Labour and Social Affairs Mohammed Kahistan report on a number of issues relating to social security for workers and pensioners.